off the top of his head. Come and listen to the words that he said. If you wasn't sure, well now you will know. It won't be one of your favorite shows.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Haas Talks. I know we had a week off where we had a little bit of a mishap, but hey, one thing leads to another, and we have issues. But we're back with Haas Talks. Hey, I want to know, who do you guys want to see on the show? I mean, we've had all kinds of people, from drivers to sponsors to track personnel and media and everything else on the show, but I want to know who you want to see right here on Haas Talks. So drop me a comment below. Let me know. Send me an email, a message. Send me a piece of snail mail. However you want to take route of getting that information to me, please do so. Hey, real quick, I want to thank our sponsors for the show. These folks really help me out tremendously. They help out the broadcast here at Port City Raceway tremendously, and couldn't be possible without all of their help. So a big thank you to everyone that supports the show. Hey, this week I've got something a little bit different for you. Like I said, we've had drivers, we've had media guys, we've had track crew, we've had owners, we've had everything, but we haven't had a wife on the show, a race wife, and we haven't had a race mom on the show. So hey, I figured, what the heck, let's get 2 for 1 in an interview this week. So this episode, Amber Sawyer will be joining us right here on Haas Talks right after this.
Performance Electronics, custom electronic solutions. From design to manufacturing, let us put your ideas in motion and become your company's full-service electronics manufacturing experts. Performance Electronics.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. And as I promised before, Amber Sawyer, hey, we're getting the best of both worlds. We're getting the mom view, the wife view, and then in the end, we're going to get the leadership view. Amber, thanks for taking time to come and chit-chat with me.
Of course.
You've been around racing a long time.
All my life.
Kind of give people that may not know, I mean, for those that don't know, just real quick, you're Scott Sawyer's wife. Mm-hmm. You're Drew Sawyer, Kaylee Sawyer. How many? You got Drew, Kaylee, Colton,
and Blaine.
And Blaine's off at school, right?
At OU.
He's a guy at OU. I mean, Boomer Sooner. I mean, we'll roll that one.
I know. I tried really hard to get him to go Pokes, but it didn't happen.
So give us a quick breakdown of, like, you knew of racing and were in racing before Scott, right?
Oh, yeah.
So give us some background of the life.
So I guess I was a track brat starting at the age of 3. My brother started racing quarter midgets when he was 6 years old. And so that's how I got know Pittman, Carbone, Shane.
Right.
You know, I remember Shane coming over to our house, or my brother and I going over to their house. And, you know, that's just grew up around it all.
It's the life you've known all your life.
It's all I've known. I don't remember anything else.
Do you remember the first time you met Scott?
You know what's funny?
Like, did your brother like whoop up on him in racing, or is there a cool story there?
I had no idea who Scott Sawyer was.
Hey,
honestly, I didn't.
You're not the only one. There's a lot of other people out there these days that don't know. I'm just kidding, Scott. It's a joke. It's a joke. You're world famous. You've done a lot of cool things, Scott. We'll talk about that at a later date. But
he has. No. So my brother always ran Factor 1.
Okay.
And he was at Creek County the same time we were at Creek County, and I never knew who he was. I really didn't. And Kelly Bacon kept telling me, I'm telling you, you need to date Scott Sawyer. And I'm like, I don't know. He doesn't seem like my type, you know. And then she went ahead. It was his 16th birthday. It was the first time I met him.
Oh, goodness.
Out here. Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, so I walked by and told him happy birthday, and then...
Did you see him blushing already? Was he like, oh, thanks, this is my birthday?
He, I guess then he asked Kelly for my number, I think, and he got my number, and of course that was way before
cell phones and Facebook and...
Call forwarding,
yeah.
Caller ID,
yeah.
You know, so I was like anxiously waiting for him to call me, and he waited like 2 days to call me.
What?
I know, right?
Dude, that kind of stuff didn't take place until like 1996, 98.
I'm telling you. So,
Goodness
anyways,
gracious.
but yeah.
First date. Do you remember the first date?
Oh, yeah. We went to World of Outlaw show at Tulsa Speedway.
Man.
Yep.
Goodness gracious. All these people taking all the success stories that I'm hearing from like racing couples is the first date was always like to the racetrack.
Really?
That's whenever you know it's true. Whenever they'll go to the racetrack with you, you're set.
Yep.
So becoming a race girlfriend, a race wife, like what is that like? I mean, a lot of people see it as, oh my gosh, you're at the racetrack every weekend. Oh my goodness, you're always in the shop. Oh my goodness, did he really buy that engine? Like, was there ever those times, or was it like, since you were a racetrack rat, quote unquote, was it like you knew that's the way things worked and that's the way things went?
Yeah, I mean, it was, yes, I knew, but it was different because it was always my dad and brother out in the shop working on stuff, you know,
Right.
and I still was able to do whatever. I did, you know, there came a point in high school where it was like, do I continue with cheerleading, or do I, you know, kind of want to stop, and because my brother's out here all the time, and
Right.
I loved it. I mean, I do love it. And I quit cheerleading.
Wow.
I wasn't the one that went to the homecoming games. You know, I came out here.
So it's not just race car drivers that do that. Actually, like
Yeah.
fans and girlfriends, wives, sisters, you actually gave up.
And that was before I met Scott.
Really?
Yeah.
So before you meet Scott, you're like, meh, this cheerleading stuff, dude, I'd rather do it from the bleachers of the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Really?
So I quit cheerleading. Well, I didn't try out for, you know, the next
The
year or
following
whatever.
year.
But, yeah. And I wanted to be out here.
So how long had you and Scott been dating before you got married? Like, was it a quick happening, or was it like...
No, so I met him on his 16th birthday, and we got married when we were 19 and 20. It was
'Kay.
way too young. Don't get married that young.
Especially this day and age.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like it was back in the good old days,
It seemed like that was just like a lot of people got married young,
right?
and it was hard. It was quite the struggle, and 6 months to the day that we had been married, we got married on March 22nd. On September 22nd, found out I was pregnant with Blaine. So you have the newness of
Right.
being newlyweds and trying to, I don't care how long
You've
known,
dated and
until
as
you
soon
live
moved-
with.
Yeah, it's a whole different world.
Totally
isn't it?
different world. And so, just trying to work through all that, and we're pregnant.
Wow. So 6 months to the date. Goodness gracious,
Yes.
Scott.
So baby comes along, baby Blaine, and it was hard because Blaine was diagnosed with asthma when he was 6 months old.
Okay.
So therefore, I couldn't always be around.
Yeah.
I couldn't come out here, go to
Right.
the shootout, that kind of stuff, because, he was little, and,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's more important.
Yep.
So Blaine's born. How much older is Blaine than is Drew? The
Drew.
next? Drew's the next kiddo.
Yes. So he's 5 years.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So in those 5 years, which Blaine never did race, did he?
No, Blaine has, we tried quarter midgets, and, he wasn't much of a fan. And he did race junior sprints for a little bit.
Did he?
But he's kind of like me. He's claustrophobic.
Right.
And I think it was okay when it was, like, cold,
Yeah.
because you're staying warm. But you get strapped in there when it's hot. I would totally freak out, and he did too.
But he found his calling, doing the band stuff, and
Yes, he
he's
did.
an absolute stud.
He is. I love him to death. Yes, he found his calling, his thing, which that's what you always want your children to do, is just find their passion. And his was the band, and he ended up making it. He was the drum major, and Bixby, the pride of Bixby, has come along so far,
Right.
And they won state champion, so at the
Pretty awesome.
yeah.
At the helm
Yeah.
with Blaine at the helm. So Drew has raced.
Mm-hmm.
Colton races.
Mm-hmm.
And now Kaylee races. So being a race mom versus being a race wife, is there a difference?
I mean,
Do you feel like you're probably more protective over
Your
the kids than you were of Scott, because you're like, oh, Scott, that was a derelict move. You gotta handle it yourself, right?
yeah, I mean, Scott had some really bad crushes when we were dating.
Right.
That obviously scared me, but with my kids, nobody stopped. I mean, I know you're not supposed to go out on the track, but
Right.
try to stop a mom from
Yeah.
going out on the track when it's a bad wreck.
Totally different. Do you remember the first time that you watched Drew run?
Yeah, it was the shootout. We threw him to the wolves.
I totally forgot about that.
When,
You did.
Yeah, that's not advised.
Yeah.
Either. Don't do that. At least from the
Hey,
moms.
we're learning all kinds of lessons here. Don't get married early. Don't throw your kids to the wolves at the shootout.
At least for moms, anyway.
Right?
You know, it gives us quite the anxiety when you put your baby out there at the shootout.
Nuts. So you guys have been. It's like merging your world and Scott's world as a couple. You guys have been around it forever. Scott's been around it forever. Through chassis manufacturing and just coaching and everything else with different kids. There's now this new product that's coming to fruition of Sawyer Innovations. And that it's something that's needed with the way things are changing. The way racing isn't the way it used to be. We both know that.
No, not at all.
It's becoming a deal where mom and dad have the financial means to do it. They just don't have the knowledge to do it. And you've seen it time and time again with, I mean, you've got Joe B. Miller doing things. You got Frank Galusha doing things. Frank Flood has a little coaching program. But you guys kind of take it one step further with, offering more of a maintenance package and different things like that. Kind of walk us through the thought process of Sawyer Innovations.
So
Because Scott has told me that it was your idea.
it was
That you're the one you're the brains behind the operation.
Well, I mean,
And the sticker peeling.
oh yeah, vinyl. Oh,
That's not advised either.
that was a lot of hard work. No, it was my idea. We'd had people, Austin and Jake, and we had a lot of support behind us, and they were kind of pushing us to do something of our own. And I finally just one day did it. I got online and I registered the business name, and we got our website up and going, and I just kind of did it. And then he, thankfully, a lot of our vendors that we've worked with in the past, they have, they're great to us, and they want to help us, and we've just got a lot of support, and it gets stronger. Sawyer Innovation gets stronger week after week.
Week after week. Now you guys come rolling to the racetrack. You have Kaylee and Colton, and then you have Featherfoot, and then you have every now and then we get Benton Mack and the Mack brothers that come and race with you.
Yes.
How much of a juggling of things does that become? Because you're still working a full-time job. Scott's still working a full-time job. You guys are still working and raising kids. And how do you guys manage to just the average week in the Sawyer household has to be kind of crazy?
We don't get a lot of sit-down dinners.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of late nights right now. A lot of hard work right now, but we just keep thinking it will pay off.
Right. Big picture type of stuff. Thinking back through the years, is there any major stories that you can share with us that's holy crap, I can't believe we did that? Any aha moments? Your aha moment.
For life in general?
Life in general. I know what I have a feeling what your aha moment should be.
Yeah. It's a wake-up call when you're diagnosed with breast cancer. That's a wake-up call for us. You value life a lot more. So I think that was, that changes you forever.
Right.
When the doctor calls and says, it's malignant.
And that just changes life as a whole, because it seemed like yes, you guys, Scott continued racing. There was still some racing going on. But that changed everything in an instant, almost. One simple phone call, one simple word seems to just stick you in a bucket and tip you upside down. The courage and the strength for you to continue fighting, and you've fought a good fight because you kicked its butt, you know. Yeah, there was a lot of people that did numerous things. I mean, we had Amber Strong, and there's so many people, and that's what I love about our racing family is that it doesn't matter if we flip you off whenever we're coming off the track and we're upset with you about something you did on the racetrack. If Monday morning you get that phone call that, hey, dude, so-and-so is needing some help.
Yeah.
Everybody digs deep. It may not be the huge amounts that, you know, big time, but everything helps and everything comes in key. For you, having lived that moment, having lived through that, what are some things that just change? I mean, did you try to keep like a normal life, a normal routine?
We did until we told the kids. And
so you didn't automatically just set the kids down and say, hey.
No, because Blaine had just been home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I was diagnosed the Wednesday after Thanksgiving. And so he had planned on not coming back home until Christmas time.
Right.
And so we just kind of had to play chill, and Scott texted Blaine and said, hey, why don't you come home this weekend? He goes, I was just there. And he said, I probably won't come home until, you know, Christmas or whatever. And Scott's like, well, your mom really misses you. He said, why don't you come home? Y'all can maybe go do some Christmas shopping, da-da-da. And, you know, he ends up, okay, and he comes home. And we just had a family meeting and sat everybody down. And I told them that it was going to be a fight, but it was going to be a fight that we all fought.
Right.
The whole family. And I needed their support. And I mean, they were great through it. You know, I mean, we even had, it was the day of my second treatment. I woke up that morning, took a shower, and I'd already, you know, the chunks of hair were coming out. And I said, I thought to myself, today's the day. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take control of this, and I'm gonna do it. And so that evening, we had a pizza party and champagne and music, and we took control of it. And I wanted, you know, those people that were there and supporting me and close, and, you know, my kids, they all took turns shaving my head. And Scott, he did not want to be a part of it, but he did. You know, it was hard for him. But yeah.
So you go through how long? How many treatments did you end up having to go through? And then, like, the time frame was, it felt like it happened in an instant. For, like, me being an outsider, looking and watching, it's like, oh my gosh, Amber has breast cancer. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're going to do this Amber Strong race. Amber Strong is what everybody labeled it, is what we labeled it. Hey, we're going to have a cornhole tournament. Hey, we're going to do the dunk tank and XYZ, and all this stuff just in an instant, just boom, it happened. And then it's one day I'm scrolling through and I see the last bell ring, the last, you know, it almost gives you chills, just like being an outsider. I've known you for a while. You know, we've said our hays and, you know, our jokes passing back and forth. But again, it's that family feel of, dude, my homegirl just kicked cancer's butt. You know, what kind of time frame was that? In all actuality, in length, because again, it feels like it was just with the snap of a finger, it was done. Yeah. For me, looking out.
I had 4 treatments of what they call the Red Devil. So it's adriamycin and Cytoxan, and it's very, very strong. My cancer was very aggressive, so we had to hit it really hard up front. So I was diagnosed on Wednesday, in with my breast surgeon on Friday, met with the oncologist on Monday, had my port put in Wednesday, and then 2 days after that, but then the following Friday I started my treatment. So it was December, I think, like around December 13th or 15th, something like that, is when I started my first treatment. And then I rung the bell on April 26th, 2019.
That is just absolutely wild.
But then there was the surgeries after.
Right.
Yeah, that were complicated. So
Goodness gracious. Like, it takes a special breed of person to even continue the fight. And honestly, like, to, again, an outsider looking in, it's like you were just roundhousing it like you were like Bruce Lee or like the kid on Karate Kid or something like that.
That's might look like that on the outside.
Guys, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys, your core group had your back.
Oh, yeah.
And that to me is worth applauding and, saying, at a team,
Yeah, the support and, the people that you never would think that would donate, would.
Right.
And, it's humbling. That's Scott and I were very humbled, and it seemed like with, when they first started the GoFundMe, it was like every donation we got, I think we'd cry.
Right.
Because it's amazing to see so many people come and hold you up.
Through the course of your life, you've had ups and downs. You've had one major down, but you're back up now, and you guys are on the crawl up. For a new coming mom, for a new coming wife that's coming in and their kids or their husbands are just starting into racing, you've got to have some little saying that you can pass on, some kind of piece of advice, like for listeners, because we have it all the time now, especially here lately. We have kids moving up from quarter midgets over to dirt track and everything else. And sometimes you can see their frustrations.
Yeah.
You can see them kind of bummed out. And for me, it's easy to say, hey, keep on digging, pal. You're going to do great. But whenever they hear it from somebody that's been through it and somebody that's, an insider in the racing scene and has been around the racing world, like it hits home. Like, what's a piece of advice that you could, give to a newcomer?
Be patient.
Be patient.
Just be patient. I remember when Scott and I were, first met him, and I think he was in the sportsman class or something. I don't know. But, he tried to get to the front in the first lap, and he had crash after crash after crash. I love you, honey. But, yeah, you just got to be patient, Your time will come. You'll feel it. It'll click. And just be patient as far as a new racer. Moms, I guess, again, be patient. Let your kids find their passion. It might not be racing, and, the child might figure that out, but just let your kid find their passion.
Well, I feel like we've only scratched the surface. We're going to have to do a follow-up episode with Amber Sawyer. Race fans, as she said, be patient. And that can go to everything in life.
I can.
Just be patient. Let God's will be done.
Exactly.
And stay safe, and we will see you at the races.
Talks about the top and top of